Hey, yo, say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall, and I've got a scoop for you. And we all know there's a lot of podcasts out there, but I encourage you to check out this one. It's called Going In Raw. You heard it here first. Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Speaking of which, this weekend, of course, is a little mom and pop pay-per-view called Wrestlemania. We're going to be Wrestlemania.
Never heard of it.
Wrestlemania. Yeah, it's a little indie promotion called WWE.
Upstart company.
Yeah, some big stuff happening over there in the new WWE. We're going to be doing our live reactions to their very first pay-per-view, WrestleMania's nights 1 and 2.
WrestleMania 38, night 1 and 2, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're going to be checking, 38. And we're going to be checking that out live, doing our live reactions. That should be a lot of fun. Of course, NXT Stand and Deliver earlier in the day. That's when I'm probably going to be eating a donut and enjoying some nice coffee. So we're not going to be live streaming that, but we'll certainly be watching. We will be
we'll cover
giving you
the following Monday.
Oh yeah, we're going to cover it for sure. And then in this episode, we're going to be giving you soft predictions,
preliminary
predictions to let you guys know where we're at right now. But of course, the new month of Big Red predictions is starting with Stand and Deliver, and so we're going to be getting those numbers in before the show actually starts.
We might do them at the end of our Mania predictions video. They'll be at Friendo Club TV probably Friday morning, or maybe we'll just post them on Twitter like we did with our Impact Sacrifice picks before the show. We'll see.
Only it Going In Raw. Like, we have to be like the podcast with the largest audience where so much of what we do is on the fly like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, we've known each other so long that we don't really feel the need to communicate all that much. Have you noticed that? Like, it's like, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No,
usually. And usually it all works out.
And the thing about you and I is that there's rarely any surprises. So it's like, you'll text me, hey, are we going to do this? Yeah, I figure we do it that way.
Yeah. Or vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, hey, you want to do this? Yeah, I was thinking we'd do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we'll just announce it whenever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I it's probably what you said, putting those predictions at the end of WrestleMania.
The Mania. Yeah, we'll do that video tomorrow. Probably
makes most sense.
So
makes most
sense with us.
Yeah, so that's good. No, we're not going to be doing Supercard of Honor. Is not going to be included in the Big Red predictions because I think there's going to be a bunch more matches that we just have no idea is going to be on there.
Yeah, and also it's going up against. Friday is a busy wrestling night as is. You got SmackDown, you got Rampage.
You have like 8 different GCW shows.
I know. So we have to be kind of, and also later in the month, I'm also say everything that's up for predictions in April. It's going to be Stand Deliver, of course, both nights of Mania. It's going to be New Japan Hyper Battle because there's 6 title matches on that card.
Yeah.
It's going to be Impact Rebellion, and then it's going to be Triple Mania.
Oh, that's
Rahia
exciting.
3.
That's going to be
at the end of the month.
Yeah.
The wild card show where anybody can make up ground.
Well, that's the great thing about it is that I can walk into it, which I probably will. 15 points down.
Yeah.
And or the enforcer can walk in 15 points down and then just make it all up.
Yep.
So that should be
great to have that at the end.
And that one we're definitely doing a live watch along
for.
Yeah. That should be wild fun. That should be really cool. All right, so with all that out of the way, we're going to talk about the go-home episode of Stand and Deliver of NXT 2.0. We had some developments, but first, we've got a couple of bits of news, including an unlikely return to WrestleMania, or what we thought would be an unlikely return to WrestleMania. Shane McMahon. Larson. What?
So we haven't heard much about Shane McMahon since reports surfaced following this year's Royal Rumble that he had been essentially told to go home, relieved of his duties.
Get out of here.
No longer involved in creative plans with W. Yes, you're out of here. After butting heads with Vince, his dad, while helping with the creative aspect booking the men's Rumble match. So since then, haven't heard much about it. Yesterday, PW Insider reported that we might be seeing Shane back in the WWE very, very soon. This is what they said, quote, WWE is bringing Shane McMahon in for WrestleMania 38 this weekend. PWInsider.com has confirmed multiple sources. There's no word at this time whether McMahon will be appearing on the pay-per-view yet, but we are told he will be in town for the entire WrestleMania weekend. So if you go back to those reports of him essentially getting told to go home, there are two potential opponents for Shane listed for Mania. One, which I guess is the one Shane was lobbying for, Austin Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Two, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is, in fact, facing a mystery opponent at WrestleMania. We all assume, and it's been reported as such, that opponent will be Cody.
Yeah.
Now, is this a news story that WWE is floating out there?
They've been known to do that.
To put doubt in people's mind, knowing that it has been reported that Shane, at one point, the plan was Shane and Seth. To throw doubt in people's mind to make Cody's appearance not as predictable and obvious.
I have a different theory.
Okay, hit me with it then.
He is going to get involved in the Austin Theory thing. That's my theory, which kind of makes sense. All the math seems to... So they book Austin Theory very strong.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to be really strong. Pat McAfee kind of has to win this match, though, because it's WrestleMania. You need a big feel-good moment. He's a massive celebrity. And how are you going to get there? I mean, look, he doesn't have to win. He could totally lose. But, like, how would you get to Pat McAfee winning if that's the way they wanted to go? Shane McMahon. If Shane wanted to do Austin Theory in the first place, the big story with Austin Theory is he's aligned with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is saying you need to apologize or else you're going to lose your job maybe or be suspended or we'll take away your WrestleMania dream. This is about Pat McAfee's WrestleMania dream. Kind of stands to reason that just having the match isn't going to be enough of a dream. He needs to fulfill it. And he needs to win. But Austin Theory's booked really strong, and he's a superstar that they want to do big things with. That much is clear. So either Shane comes in as a proxy for Pat McAfee at the last minute, which I don't think would play into his dream either, or he just helps even the odds. He's like a special enforcer for this match, and he kind of ends up screwing over Austin Theory somehow. I don't know. I would think that would be a much bigger crowd-pleasing moment than him taking the spotlight from what that entire place is going to be chanting Cody's name. If Cody doesn't show up,
I know it's going to be a massive fart.
It's going to be a fart.
And I'm not suggesting that they are. I don't think Shane's going to be facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I don't mean to suggest that.
No, that's what everybody's been talking about though. So
yeah. And I doubt there's going to be a sort of swerve where Shane comes out first, only for Cody to be the actual opponent of Seth.
Well,
I guess that's more likely than Shane facing Seth, but they could have your situation happen, but still have this story floating out here in advance to get people talking about. Oh wow, what's the possibility of Shane actually being the mystery opponent?
No, you're absolutely right. They could have they probably could have figured out a way to do this on the down low. Maybe it's WWE, they leak everything, but that's a distinct possibility. They're putting this out there, knowing that people are going to be like, oh, wait, maybe it's not Cody. But yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that he does show up. You know, Seth's supposed to have a match, and then Shane shows up. And, you know, we had joked about this, I think, we did on our bonus episode. We joked that they're going to recreate the old WCW Shane McMahon thing, where he's like, the name, I purchased a new elite promotion, Dad. And the name does say McMahon, but it says Shane McMahon. And they just make a fake AEW, which is a stupid idea, and they would never do that. But Shane,
I wouldn't say never.
Shane could be, they could kind of do it, in spirit, if you will. Shane could be aligned with Cody. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe they could even reference the reports that Shane tried to rebook the Rumble and they got kicked out of the company. So him and Cody are starting like an invasion angle. I mean, the invasion angle is... The old invasion angle is not terribly well remembered because they didn't really have all the major players of WCW. Mm-hmm. But this could be, everybody likes a good invasion angle. And if you're drumming up interest, like, ooh, who else might they have? Yeah. And then, they pick up like Marco Stunt or whoever's on the free market from AEW. Yeah. I don't know who it would be. But, or it could just be Cody. Cody could be the guy with Shane who wants to take, maybe that's one reason Vince has been more involved on TV. Maybe Shane's going to come in and run an angle where he's trying to wrest control of the company away from him.
Maybe we'll finally find out what's in the lockbox.
Yes.
That one reference when Shane came back The lockbox.
Lockbox.
Never mentioned it again. Never. So we were just talking about Seth Rollins' opponent at WrestleMania. We all presume it's going to be Cody.
Mm-hmm.
So Seth Rollins, I forgot to write a little intro for this story. My bad. He was on Sports Illustrated media podcast, and he was asked about mentions, kind of on both sides of the aisle, if you will, WWE and AEW, mentioning their competition, mentioning the other promotion. Seth was asked about that because he's mentioned Jon Moxley on air.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
On WWE programming, of course, AEW makes all sorts of references to WWE. This is what Seth had to say about it. Quote, "To me, it's one of those things where if it's very useful, it's fine. I didn't use a reference to Mox to talk down to somebody. I wasn't trying to diminish anyone's accomplishments. It wasn't like that. He's part of our story. Roman wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for Mox and I. The other side of that coin is the way that it can be used by those guys. They can do whatever they want. I find it very tacky and lowbrow personally. Ooh. I think it looks and reeks of desperation. I don't think it's anything on our television show that we need to go there and talk down about those guys. They are doing their thing. They're doing it very well, and we're happy for them. I am, at least personally. Are they on our level? No. They have a long way to go to catch up to us. That's fine, and they know that. They do things differently. From my perspective, it's a step down for us to use it as an insult. That's my perspective. People may not share that opinion. Now, if you're viewing this statement through the prism of him facing Cody, of course, Cody famously took a sledgehammer to a Triple H looking throne.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Cody, I think pound for pound probably had the most WWE references.
Yeah.
That there were to have. And coincidentally, now Seth is saying that situation is lowbrow.
Tacky.
Classless.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Seth's great, man. You know, Seth has always been a rah for his company.
Yes.
Say good for him, man. I'm rah for going in raw for the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah. I've also got a very self-deprecating sense of humor. So, but yeah, no, that's fine. I don't know. What do you think about all this?
I mean, there's not much to be made about this other than he's
shooting hard. No, he's shooting hard, man. Shooting hard.
Yeah, sure. Shooting hard. Of in character.
Yeah.
That is his WrestleMania opponent. That's the extent of it.
Well, now here's the thing, though. I think this is totally just Kobe. What's his last name?
Lopez.
Like, yeah, of course, dude. He's always been like this.
Oh, he has been. Generally,
yeah.
I don't mind it so long as he doesn't direct whatever resentment, anger towards the fans who are curious about the product. That's when I'm like, dude, you got, and that's. He acknowledged that, and he kind of stepped back.
Yeah,
seemingly, you know.
Yeah, but he can.
When he's taking fans to task for being curious about the inner workings of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
These are just fans who are interested in the process.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, but this is fine. I think that he probably really feels this way too. Like, I don't think this is just character. I think that him, he's taking advantage of the situation that he's totally facing Cody. But yeah, that's cool. And he's actually incredibly, he's much more diplomatic, I feel, than his character would be.
Yeah.
When he's talking about this stuff. But yeah, Seth loves to fucking do that shit, man.
He does. He does. Stuff. All right, I guess we got to talk NXT now. Before we get to the episode, let's kind of do, as you mentioned, our unofficial soft predictions for Stand Deliver.
Soft predictions.
This Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. I think that's when the main card kicks off. I guess pre-show probably kicks off an hour prior. We got 7 matches on the card.
Let me get some donuts. Let me get some coffee. I'm going to
sounds
sit
good.
probably in my living room. I need a new TV for my bedroom, man. Lacey's super anti, though. I'm like, Lace, I want a 70-inch for the bedroom.
That might be too much.
Don't be anti, man. Right now I've got 42 in there. What's the matter with another 3 feet?
Quite a bit, actually. Now, if you said 50, 55, I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay.
70, baby.
You already got a 70.
I'm not saying 85, man.
I'm surprised you're not. Why don't you get 85 for your living room, move the 70 to your bedroom then, huh?
Revelation. All right, man. So
upgrade where you watch the most TV.
Yeah, no, it's not a terrible idea. So yeah, let's talk about these.
So next time Lacey gets upset, counter with that.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, like, she's buying all these tools to make her jewelry now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, me suggesting buying a $600 because you can get that shit for cheap these days. Like $600, you get like a
pretty
giant
reasonable.
TV.
I know.
And she's like, but I could use that for this. And I'm like, well, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's not, a new blowtorch isn't going to, show me Star Trek Discovery in max HD.
Mm-hmm.
4K.
Yeah, no, I understand that point of view.
I want to see every pixel, man.
Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, Coinbase. So, Steve, I'm sure there are a lot of friendos out there like me who are interested in getting in the world of cryptocurrency, but probably really have no idea where to start. I know I don't have any idea where to start. It all seems so overwhelming.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely, man. I was once there with you, friendo, but then I started using Coinbase, which makes learning to buy and sell cryptocurrency simple. Coinbase's easy-to-use platform has basically turned me from a crypto dullard into the crypto Lanny Poffo, a genius. It was a breeze to start my own portfolio, and Coinbase supports the most popular digital currencies on the market, as well as offering portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app, so I can keep tabs on all my crypto in one place.
Millions of people trust Coinbase with their digital assets, so whether you're looking to diversify, get started, or just find a better way to get into crypto markets, get started today with Coinbase.
And for a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at Coinbase.com/going-in. Sign up at Coinbase.com/going-in for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's Coinbase.com/going-in. Anyways, let's talk about the first up. What is this? Tag match. The women's tag titles.
Yeah,
on the line against two people who did not win the Dusty Cup.
Yeah, in fact, for the last year plus, like, we're at each other's throats.
Yeah.
So you got Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, of course, champions taking on the newly reunited, happened during this episode, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai.
Mm-hmm.
So during the course of the episode, we saw that Wendy Chu had apparently been taken out by Toxic Attraction.
Mm-hmm.
We saw like her pillow all ripped up, her ring gear, and later on they were throwing the stuffing from her pillow, and then they had her cup and they chucked that in the ring too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how Wendy Chu is going to play into the outcome of this match per se. Is she going to try to help Raquel and Dakota win, or is she going to try to help them and inadvertently cause them to lose? And then we have this, because it'd be kind of weird if Raquel and Dakota were friends again out of nowhere, won the tag titles just for Wendy Chu to be left behind, She's the one that got Dakota Kai to this point.
Yeah.
Or she can accept friendship again.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like until that story plays itself out, you really can't have Raquel and Dakota get the win here. I got Gigi and JC right now, unofficial, 2 confidence points.
I'll put it this way. I'm looking at this card. I'm going to change a lot of these. Probably. I'll just go the other way that you just said. I think it's, because you just outlined 2 scenarios, which will play out very differently. I think Wendy Chu is proven to be a face. If she's going to get involved in this, it's not going to be against the people. It's going to be against the people who beat her up.
Totally.
And she has been very, in character, very accepting of Dakota Kai and her eccentricities. And I think she'd like to see these 2 get along and be friends and be champions together. So I'm saying that Wendy Chu does, in fact, get involved. I think it's going to be a bad night for Toxic Attraction. In fact, this is going to be a bit of a canary in the coal mine, if you will, where Toxic Attraction is going to lose those titles. And then later on, if they keep the tag titles, Mandy's retaining. If they lose the tag titles, Mandy's dropping that main title because it's going to be all or nothing for Toxic Attraction.
Maybe. Then we got the North American title ladder match. Participants are, of course, Carmelo Hayes. You got Cameron Grimes in there now. He won the last chance triple threat match. You got Santos Escobar. You got Grayson Waller. You got Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
So I got everybody.
I think 5. So. It's 5, right?
I think that's it.
Mello, Cameron Grimes, Solo, and Santos, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at your thing right here. It says Mello won. That's probably the smart way to go. He is synonymous with that North American Championship.
So I don't know if you noticed this during the show. I think during either the main event or the match before the main event, they announced a WrestleMania panel of NXT that's happening after Stand Deliver. And so on that panel were Shawn Michaels, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Cora Jade, and MSK. They're all in title matches earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're all walking that panel as champions.
Boy, you're going all in on that, huh? What is you said? Cora Jade, Mello, MSK, and Braun Breaker.
Uh-huh.
And that's where you get MSK with 5 over here in the next one.
I don't want to put 5 on that, but
but you put 5 on it.
But I'm less confident in a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Next match, Walter versus LA Knight. Walter, 7 confidence points, most confident.
Here's the case for well, yeah, never mind. That's a stretch. Walter versus LA Knight. Yeah, Gunther.
Walter.
7.
All the confidence on Walter.
There's not anything on here that's more. Yeah, God, you're right. These are kind of all up in the air, to be honest with you.
I know. That's why just the way things go is I have 5 on MSK to win those tag titles. Creed Brothers ain't winning. Whoever attacked them is going to cost them this match, whether it's pretty deadly. So during the show, Brutus Creed got a text and he says, "Do you know where the 781 area code is?"
It's New York
I looked
City.
it up. It's Boston.
Oh, it's Boston?
It's Boston.
Really?
Yeah, at least where, according to Google, is Boston.
Google. Boston. What's going on in Boston?
I don't know. Is Ed Edwards coming to the NXT? Or
maybe Boston is a New England reference. They're from England.
I don't know. They are.
They've turned it into New England.
But like the assumption that we've made is that's pretty deadly.
Edwards. Yeah. Yeah. No. Totally.
So since Imperium got the win last night, just going by go home math plus MSK's on this panel, new tag champs.
Wait, you said it's 718, right?
It's 781.
Oh, 781. I thought it was 718. Okay. All right.
Again, unofficial. How many? You have Imperium here. How many confidence points?
So Burr Winning says it was 718. That's what I read too. And that's what a couple people.
I listened to it. I watched it and listened back again. I'm pretty sure he said 781. I could be misremembering this though.
Well, it's either Boston or New York, depending on
all right,
if you're Larson or me in chat. Either way, it doesn't make any sense. Either way, Pretty Deadly doesn't fit. I was like, he's like, what is this +19 and like international area code right here? Anyways,
yeah, I know.
So you're probably right about that.
Oz Cody says Larson watching NXT another mention. Like I went to double check. I swore he said 781.
I believe you. Look, I believe you. It's Boston because it kind of doesn't matter. As far as what are we talking about right now? Yeah, we got Gunther winning. Yeah, the tag match. They're really booking Imperium strong these days. Gunther's going to win that match.
Yeah.
So my preliminary, I'll have to do a little bit more thinking on this. My preliminary would be Imperium's going to win this.
Yeah.
MSK really has no right to win this. They just sort of shoved themselves into this.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
I know. Again, I'm going off who's on that panel.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Next up, this will be interesting, man. Let's talk about this next one. Tommaso Ciampa, No One Will Survive. Or wait, now it's like Fight Forever or something, right? And then versus Tony D'Angelo. Now, Ciampa keeps on talking about this promo of his was like the most definitive goodbye, but we both know that's totally still up in the air, right?
Well, I mean, this was also like his 4th or 5th goodbye message. You know?
I know.
This is like this 4th or 5th time he's dropped this particular version of this promo.
I know, but this time he had a chair that he put nicely, and it had like his end date and his beginning date.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The last time he said goodbye, of course, was against Braun Breaker.
Yes.
And obviously he went out on his back.
Mm-hmm.
You have Tony D'Angelo with 4 confidence points, I assume, because the standard sort of thing you do is if you're going out, you go out on your back. Tony D'Angelo, they really seem to like him, which I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that they seem to like Tony D'Angelo. And that he's not just sort of a joke meme character. So you might be right on this, and I'll probably end up going with that just to be safe. But is there any chance they give Ciampa sort of the champion's goodbye? He gets to win and say goodbye?
I thought that too. That's why I didn't put more confidence on Tony D'Angelo. Because you'd think you're on your way out, you go out on your back, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but
I'll probably swap this 32. I'll probably swap this one for the Cora Jade win. I think I'll put 4 on Cora Jade.
All right. I'm just hesitant to put a ton of confidence points on like a multi-person match, you know?
Well, I just feel like, look, if I'm going to go with Raquel and Dakota, I got to go all in.
Then you got to go all in on one way or the other.
And
yeah, that's true.
Here's the thing, Larson. Here's the thing. We got AAA coming up.
I could make it up.
I could just fuck off all of this month, and then once AAA comes around, bang, get all my points back.
Could. And also, there's a lot of points on the line for Mania too.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I know, but you know what? I get the feeling that we're gonna be going a lot of the same direction in Mania.
Entirely possible.
So that might not be as sort of decisive as we think. We have an entire conversation. See, this is what happens, dude.
Okay, I guess so. I'm watching the closed captioning here, and it says 718.
An entire conversation about area codes in our chat. This is what happens. Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching it again real fast.
Okay, have at it. This is gonna blow.
Okay, so he says 781. Closed captioning says 718.
Did I watch this in closed captioning? 781-718.
Here, I'll watch it one more time.
Okay. Some sort of weird like alter. You have like Xfinity from a different dimension.
Yeah, he says 781.
That's so weird that me and everybody else would have heard it as 7. Can anybody else? Does anybody else in chat have this? This is the stupidest conversation we've ever had.
It's these details that may matter, though.
It means
it may be a
nothing.
hint of who it is.
It's not Ed Edwards, man. It's not going to be Ed Edwards. White Brownie says, I heard. Okay, well, no, okay.
All right, so I got Cora with 3.
What's the time code of that?
I just closed it.
Oh, well, here, I can just look it up in the thing.
Yeah.
In our notes.
It is
the biggest waste of time.
1 hour and 46 minutes, almost exactly.
1 hour
into
and
46
minutes. Okay.
I got Cora with 3 confidence points. Just kind of feel like, Io and Kaylee Ray, they'll kind of take each other out.
Yeah.
And then Cora will get that win over Mandy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's time. I think that, dude, Toxic Attraction has been the focal point of the show for 6 months now. Mm-hmm. Like ever since 2.0 became a thing, they have been the thing. It's time, man. If Cora Jade, because Cora Jade hasn't she had like a title?
Yeah, she had a title match against. I think she was in the triple threat. It was her and Raquel against Mandy.
That's right. I don't know how many more times. Oh, here we go. Let's go ahead and let's listen to this.
And then the main event, while you do that, Dolph versus Braun Breaker. Braun's got to get this. He's got to get this title back. I got 6 confidence points on Braun getting this.
Yeah, dude. He says 718. Yeah. It's weird. So weird. Anyways, moving on. Where are we now?
6 confidence points. Braun.
Braun Breaker. What's your reasoning behind that? Because I agree.
I just feel like the story is, as I mentioned before, Dolph is a representative of the main roster who portrays NXT as being minor leagues, mm-hmm. and they're going to have Braun beat him, dispelling that notion that NXT is the minor leagues and that they are not ready for main roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I loved Dolph's thing yesterday when he was like, they probably got Braun doing local Florida as if like NXT does like house shows or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, they got him doing local Florida. I'm doing the big leagues, and it showed him on Corey Graves' podcast.
And the bump,
and the bump.
WWE show, I know.
Like, what are you talking about? But he did have, like, there was a write-up on him, I think I don't want to say it's like Sports Illustrated or something today. So it seemed like he was doing some amount of national stuff.
Yeah, I think he was. I think they're really hoping that him being in this match is going to get people to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Plus, like, Braun will have a 2-time NXT champion to his name. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It's a big deal. This is going to be the main event. They want to go out on a high note. Yeah, totally. Braun Breaker makes all the sense in the world here.
Another reason I'm thinking about it some more, the other reason you can make the case that Dakota and Raquel are going to win is Cora's own history with Raquel. They could have this thing now after this where you have Raquel and Dakota with the tag belts, Cora with the main women's title. I just don't know how Wendy Chu fits into all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So anyways, let's talk about last night's NXT. I thought the show was fine. It was just a standard episode of NXT. I'm coming around to it. Like there's a good mix of shit that's fun to make fun of, and then like actual good shit.
The main event was really good.
Yeah, the main event was stellar. It was stellar. When Cameron Grimes gave his whole "Woe Is Me" video package and then interview, I was like, oh man, he's gonna fucking win this thing, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess A-Kid just showed up. He'll have plenty of time. He's putting on fantastic performances.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a matter. They'll rebrand him as Matador. And yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fine. What did you think of NXT last night?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, this is what I expect from NXT on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
The way it's kind of set up now is much how like NXT UK used to be, like in this first year as a weekly television show, where they would just have matches that are kind of lightly motivated, that were usually pretty short, and they give you a really good main event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was kind of the template, and that seems to be what NXT 2.0 is doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of crap for the first, not I mean literal garbage. I just mean a bunch of stuff for the first hour 45 minutes, and they'll give you a good 20-minute main event.
Yeah. They are. I mean, it seems like the crowd's really gelling. The characters are starting to come together a little bit. I'm not. Man, I've always been not enthusiastic. It has been difficult for me to get past, and this is just me. The aesthetic presentation.
Yeah,
it's a god ugly show. It looks ugly and amateurish, and then on top of that, they're probably getting to the point now where you got the same crowd in there. It's the same thing happened with NXT 1.0. You get the same crowd in there every single week, and you don't get anything new from them. And they start to have their quirks and proclivities, and it makes for the atmosphere. Except when LA Knight's out there, they love LA Knight, and they do chant for Walter, and not Gunther. So yeah, I mean there's good and bad, but yeah, overall it's a relatively enjoyable show, and it is an outlet to main roster. So again, it is what it is. It does, as I said before, it doesn't do anything better that you can't get anywhere else. You can get whatever they do, you can get it anywhere else better. But in terms of just being, hey, I want to see what they're going to do with the future of WWE, solid show. Like, it's a 2-hour show. You watch it once a week, and you don't really have to pay attention to main roster stuff. 5 hours of that and get endless recaps and commercials. NXT 2.0 is actually a fairly well-booked and well-paced show.
Yeah, for the most part. The pacing issues that often kind of plague SmackDown and usually Raw doesn't really occur in 2.0.
Yeah, nothing.
It's still a far cry from WWE's best weekly television show, which is, of course,
NXT UK.
NXT UK.
Absolutely. So this week's 2.0 started off with Imperium versus MSK and LA Knight 6-man tag action. We had a bit of remember that moment in Citizen Kane where they just cut to that bird going "Crah!" really loud?
Yeah.
They had a moment like that at the beginning of this where Walter gets jumped from behind, but the camera's really low and it's on him in his grand entrance, and then he just comes tumbling into the camera.
Yeah, it looked like fake Walter, like that really wasn't Walter, because it was backlit. The whole scene was backlit, and Imperium was all the members of them were backlit, so you couldn't really tell if it was Walter or not,
or like Malcolm Bivens or something. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyways, fun enough match. We didn't get enough Walter chops in it. However, hopefully they're saving that for Stand Deliver. In the end, though, let me see what the finish is. So Eichner tags himself in, and then Nash Carter rolls up Marcel Bartel, thinking he's still the legal competitor. Ref says no.
Mm-hmm.
He is like someone else tagged in, so Eichner just hits Carter with a massive clothesline, pins him to get the win, and then Imperium walks up the ramp. Creed brothers come out to stand between them and their way back stage, and they all kind of look at each other confused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, we had a Kaylee Ray and a Io Shirai promo. Kaylee Ray says that she says, Mandy thinks she's the greatest NXT Women's Champion in history. She says we knew.
So she knew that they'd accept. Yeah,
that she'd accept our challenge to make it a fatal 4-way. Io says herself and Kaylee Ray came together to get payback. Kaylee Ray says we're no strangers to being champions, and she says when I'm champ here, I won't need help to keep my title. I'll make sure the title's around the best competitor in the world. And Io says, yeah, you're right. It's going to be mine. So I'm going to win on Saturday, even if that means beating you. Kaylee Ray says, I'd like to see you try. So, yeah, they're going to take each other out of the match. Even Cora Jade to beat Mandy Rose on her own.
Probably. Next, we got Dakota Kai. She's walking backstage. She's looking for Wendy Chu, and she finally comes upon her ring gear just all over the floor. Her, like body pillow ripped up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's concerned about Wendy Chu.
Yeah, as she should be. It looked like she got murdered. After that, we had Ivy Nile versus Tiffany Stratton. Of course, they reference what happened last week when Tiffany Stratton took Saray's magical amulet away from her. And so you knew that was going to play into this. Sure enough, it did. Tiffany Stratton oddly was sort of on the... Honestly, Ivy Nile should completely... This should have been a squash match. But Tiffany Stratton seemed to be on the verge of beating Ivy Nile when Saray shows up, appears on the apron, gets the distraction. Stratton is distracted and then looks for a slam on Ivy. Ivy reverses that into a Dragon Sleeper, gets the win.
Yep.
That really should have been that should have been Ivy Nile. Just like she could have been like, hey, Saray, you're not needed here.
Yeah, I know. Then we got Tommaso Ciampa dropping a promo. He says, for a long time, NXT has been a sanctuary, a place for him to connect. So let's connect. He says, when I first came to NXT, I had so much to prove to my peers, to my fans, my critics, and to myself. Now it's been a long journey filled with the highest of highs and lowest of lows. And he says, you, the fans, have been a part of it all. And whether they realize it, something as public as winning a title or injuring his neck, or something as private as his wife having 5 miscarriages, and with the eventual birth of his daughter, every obstacle, every triumph, every tragedy, the fans were as constant. Says together they overcame. They created black and gold magic. Now he hears all the whispers. Stand Deliver may be the end of an era. In Dallas, let's create that magic one final time. And he gets up in his chair, has the I think 9/9/15, the date he started in NXT, and then the date of Stand Deliver, April 2nd.
Yep. Yeah. I thought it was a really effective promo. I liked the bit where he, places the chair nicely with the dates
as opposed to tossing it, which is what you normally do. Yeah,
nice little arts and craft project for him. Went to Michael's, got some cardboard or some cardstock or whatever, glue.
Some double stick tape, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. After that, we had a Dolph Ziggler video package. Is this the one where he was talking about Braun Breaker does local media? Not
It was Dolph's media tour.
Yeah, on the Bump and Corey Graves podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man. After that, we had a Cora Jade video package. This really sold me. I was like, man, that video package right there. She's winning this thing.
So this convinced you as much as that little banner for the NXT Wrestlemania panel.
Hey, you might be onto something there, man. That's some next level Sherlock Holmes type shit you pulled out.
Or that's some serious telegraphing on the part of NXT.
Could be as well. Next up, we had Legado del Fantasma versus Briggs and Jensen. This was really fun. When I was watching Briggs in this match, I was like, damn. This is both going to be. I think they're going to end up being a really good tag team.
Yeah,
Briggs could have been a really fantastic singles guy. I mean, he was.
He still could be.
Yeah, he was like the last Evolved champion, I think. But yeah, he's a lot of fun, man. That big choke slam there at the end was cool. That led to the finish. Jensen comes in. They hit their finisher on Legado del Fantasma. Briggs and Jensen picks up the win here. There was a bit where Fallon and Elektra Lopez go at it as well, furthering their story. After that, we had this terribly acted Indian Persia shit backstage. It's so bad because it'd be like if you and I were in a skit where we had to actually do dialogue, because usually when we do skit stuff, it's improv.
Yeah.
Or we'll just here's a little. So we're about to do the skit for the predictions thing, right? Mm-hmm. And we have a script written out. Well, I know how you're going to work on this, and I know how I'm going to work on this. I'm going to just read the lines off the screen. Yeah, well, it's like the Brando way. Brando used to have cue cards.
Yep. Time-honored tradition. You can't remember your lines, you read them.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's you and me and we had a script and we had to memorize it, it'd be as bad as this. Mm-hmm. So Indy asks, and on top of that, the subject material is so stupid. So it really is. Indy asks if Duke's chest is all cut up from Walter's chops. Persia says, it's mostly healed up. I've been rubbing lotion on a sexy chest all week. Indy says, ew, that's gross. Persia says, Duke will make up for it during the Mania weekend in the Big D. And Indy says, that D stands for Dexy. And Persia says it stands for Big Duke Energy. She says, don't be jealous when Dusha is the talk of the entire weekend. Is there a worse name in wrestling for a faction, a group, a team than Dusha?
No, there's not. It's really bad.
It's really bad, man.
It's really bad. It's really, really bad. So Indy says, no, it's all going to be about NXT's hottest couple index. Persia suggests, well, let's let the W Universe decide who the hottest couple is in Dallas. I don't know if they're going to have a segment during Stand Deliver.
Is it going to be two couples on a couch type situation? What's going to happen? I don't know what they're going to do.
Don't know.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Don't know.
I mean, I'll be out. Look, just from my eyes, looking at both couples, to me, it is Index or the hotter couple. What do you think?
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I mean, it's hard to get. Look, serial killers, they're horrible, but oftentimes very sexy. Dexter Lumis, sexy man. Indy, sexy lady. Persian Duke, I don't know. They got more suburb vibes to me, man.
You know what? I lost a lot of respect for Duke when he said he was a great poker player and then got worked by Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, he had that poker room for one feud.
And he couldn't play poker at all.
Yeah. This poor guy, he had that poker room, and then he couldn't play, and then they ditched that. Then he tried to be like, oh, I'm violent guy, and I'm shaving my head because I want to now, and I freaking took out that Dante Chen guy and injured him. And then
he gets his chest turned to hamburger by Walter.
Now he's in a rom-com angle.
I know.
Where he's kind of the chump of the group.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not good. Anyways.
No. After that, we had a Cameron Grimes interview. He says, I'm usually pretty confident, but tonight I'm nervous because this is the biggest match of my career. A-Kid and Roddy, well, they're great, but they don't need to win this like I do. I need to go to Stand and Deliver because it's more than just standing on top of the ladder and holding the North American title. It's about delivering on the promise that I made to my father.
I might put one confidence point on Grimes here, man. Because that whole thing about it, it's like if it wasn't for the dad stuff, I'd be like, nah. But he's talking about his dad.
Mm-hmm.
This is for you, Dad. He doesn't even talk like that anymore. He just talks like a regular guy.
But every once in a while, he'll say, to the moon.
To the moon. Good Lord. Are you going to recap this entire Toxic Attraction program?
No, you don't have to.
So much talking.
No, it is a lot of talking. So it's pretty much Mandy is like, all right, I was supposed to face Cora 101. Then EO and Kaylee Ray twisted my words. Now they're in the match too. Toxic Attraction been dominating the last 6 months. They're continuing to do so.
Gigi gets on the mic. JC gets on the mic. They talk
say
about
they've beaten everybody. Who's left? There's no point. And then that's when Dakota Kai runs to the ring. She attacks Toxic Attraction. They overwhelm her. Oh, because Gigi, she has like a backpack with her.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And so she pours that out, and that's like stuffing from Wendy Chu's pillow, her water cup, or her cup that she uses for that she brings out to the ring.
They killed her.
So Dakota Kai runs out. She starts attacking Toxic Attraction. They overwhelm her. Raquel Gonzalez runs down. She takes them out. Her and Dakota Kai clear the ring, and they're supposed to do the natural backing into each other's spot, except Raquel did this.
Yeah.
And so they turn around, realize, who they're face to face with. Raquel offers a fist bump, and then Dakota literally leaps into Raquel's arms.
It was a really sweet.
They hug.
Moment. It was a really sweet moment. Yeah, I like this bit here. And then they hold the tag titles up pretty high.
Yeah.
I mean that go home math doesn't look great for them, but the circumstance is a little bit different because they're just reforming now.
Exactly.
After that, we had a Carmelo and Trick interview. Hayes says everybody needs to put some respect on my managerial skills because I was the one who gave all these banger matches each week in these mellification matches. He says, so I'm going to be on commentary tonight. And then Grayson Waller steps in. Says, maybe I'll be on commentary too. Look how far we've come since War Games, where I sacrificed myself to win that match. Imagine what I'll do to go viral when the North American title's on the line. And then Melo's like, I can imagine what, he says, I can imagine what you're going to do. I can imagine, he says, imagine the lengths I'll go to just to get a taste when all the A champion has to do is be himself and go viral. And Waller's going to find out the hard way. It's stand and deliver. And then Waller says, he says, yeah, keep lying to yourself. The North American title is going to be mine. And then he looks at Trick and he looks at Sangha and he says, by the way, Melo, mine's bigger, meaning his heater. But then Melo and Trick get mad because they think he means his D, his front area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mello, do you manscape?
Then we get Von Wagner versus Bodie Hayward. Jacket Time have their own commentary booth.
Yeah, right.
For this match. And then Sophia Cromwell, she walks through the crowd up to the guardrail. I guess she's now aligning herself with Robert Stone. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Von wins with his finish, and then goes over to Jacket Time's booth. Boots Kushida, grabs Jiro by the lapel of his coat, chucks him over the table, puts him in the ring, hits him with his finish, takes his coat off, and then rips it.
Boo. Yeah.
I know.
After that, we had a Tony D'Angelo video package. He's at the dining table once again. This time it looks like a nice outdoor patio, perhaps, that he's at. And he talks about Ciampa.
It's all the same shit.
It's all the same shit, yeah. Then we had Joe Gacy versus Draco Anthony. Was Quinn in the crowd?
Yeah.
Okay. Staring at Harland, yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of tuned out during this match.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, Gacy wins. He gets his finish.
Yeah. Anything involving the Harlands, I just cannot. When Harlan shows up on my screen, it's like a trigger for me to go to sleep. I'm like, this guy does not. It bums me out because at the beginning of 2.0, I was like, oh, Gacy, he's the guy. And then nope.
Whatever momentum he had came to a absolute halt.
He hit a wall called Harlan.
Yep. Yeah. Then we got a Braun Breaker video package, kind of in response to the Dolph one.
Yeah, this is good.
Pretty much saying that he lives and eats and breathes NXT, whereas Dolph, he's just making a pit stop here. He comes, he does what he needs to do, and then he gets out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Pretty much.
After that, we had Nikita Lyons versus Sloane Jacobs. Nikita gets in a bunch of kicks and gets that awesome splits cover for the win. Everybody loves that. And then Lash Legend shows up on the Tron. Says, congratulations. He says, but after stand and deliver, we have some unfinished business to take care of. And when you step to me, you're going to see that Lash is a better athlete and a better superstar than you.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I like that Nikita Lyons, dude. I think she's pretty smooth in the ring.
Yeah. Then we get a Malcolm Bivens promo. He says the craziest thing about NXT is that all the people there brag about the fact that they're able to walk down the streets alone, but these are the same people who are afraid to face Diamond Mine one-on-one. But tonight we're going to solve that problem. Roderick Strong, he's going to win the last chance qualifier. He's going to go on to become a 2-time North America champion. On that same day, the Creed brothers become the new tag champs. It's Mania weekend. And at the end of it, Malcolm Bivens will have more gold than WWE Hall of Famer Mr. T himself. And I pity the fool who wants it with Biv Nasty.
Biv Nasty's a great nickname.
That is great. So everybody leaves except for the Creeds. And that's when Brutus gets a text.
Yeah.
And he was like, do you know the 718 area code?
Yeah.
And the text said, good luck on Saturday. We'll be watching.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, these are the guys who jumped us. He went from 0 to 100 right there. And Julius is like, hold on. Let's worry about stand and deliver first. Then when they show up, we'll rip their heads off.
I'll be honest with you. Like, they're pretty natural in this. Like, this felt like, because you gotta track all their progress, right? You gotta track all the promo stuff and the backstage stuff. And the Creeds, they came off just a couple months ago as like just sort of awkward buffoons. And I don't know, I'm really growing on those guys. Yeah, wasn't huge on them at first.
It helps that the crowd has embraced them to a degree.
Absolutely, yeah.
When you see performers who are getting that strong of a reaction from the crowd, you got to pay attention at least.
Absolutely, yeah. After that, we had a really terrific main event: Roderick Strong versus A-Kid versus Cameron Grimes. Of course, we had all sorts of shit going on the periphery here. We had Mello and Trick at commentary. Solo shows up at one point. Santos shows up in the crowd. Grayson shows up in Sangha. So like everybody's there to witness who the other competitor is going to be in their match come stand and deliver.
It turns out it's Cameron Grimes.
The
finish saw A-Kid. He kips up, and right when he does that, Roddy just blasts him with a jumping knee.
Yeah, God.
That was great.
That was rad.
And then Roddy hits A-Kid with End of Heartache. He gets up, turns around. Grimes hits him with the cave-in to get the win. As soon as the match ends, Trick and Mello are on the apron. Mello says, Cameron, your pops would be proud of you, but there's no way you're walking out of stand deliver as a champ. Santos comes in through the crowd, tells Mello to shut up. On Saturday, I'm going to take the North American title and bring it back to La Familia. Waller tells Santos that family doesn't matter. The image of him bringing down North American title is going to go viral. I don't like at least this week, Waller's character is just going viral. I know it's been a part of it throughout, but they just kind of reduced it to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Like he's had like more ambitious goals than just being viral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
I know it's part of what he does, but seemingly this week it was all that he was.
I'm disappointed they didn't show Carmelo Hayes going viral this past week.
That's a good point.
I posted that picture of him in the room with Sammy and Ty. And then he said, "What the heck is this?
What the heck is this?"
What a great reaction.
It was a fantastic reaction. So Sola says it's going to be a fight on Saturday, and the street champion is going to be the new North American champion. And Grimes says, "I'm going to take the North American title to the moon." And then he punches Mello, and a huge brawl breaks out, and that's how the show ends. Massive brawl.
White Brownie here in chat mentions, he says, you guys didn't mention the little backstage segment Ivy Nile had with, so her partner, Tatum.
Was cleaning up the Dynamite gym, and Ivy Nile was like, don't do that. Don't do that. So pretty much the idea was that Tatum was doing that to kind of
kiss ass.
Yeah. And Ivy says, no, we don't kiss ass here. We kick ass.
So who's going to clean this shit up? Brutus?
Maybe.
Julius? Maybe somebody new, but she is new, isn't she?
Yeah, she is the newest member. But doing this stuff. Maybe she's like on a probationary period in terms of being a full-on member of Dynamite.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, was Ivy going to do it?
It's all unclear.
It is very unclear. The idea. It's like, can she do nothing right? I think that's the point. She could do nothing right.
Yeah, she lost their match.
It's like if she wasn't cleaning up, Ivy'd be like, why aren't you cleaning up right now?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You want to get in our good graces. Yeah.
I'd be like, chill out, man. Have a J. We'll answer some questions now. Sure. I got a thread right here on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Steve and Larson. First up, Alex Foster says, where will Von Wagner be in 5 years? Psh. Somebody clip this, please, so that we'll have it in 5 years. I think clips last forever.
He might be in 2.0 still. I don't know.
I'm going to say he's not going to be in wrestling anymore. He'll be whatever the question is, where are the Ascension now?
Mm-hmm.
That's where Von Wagner's going to be. Because I think they still wrestle.
I think so, yeah, a little bit.
But you don't really hear about him much.
Yeah. Shane's birthday tweet. What are the odds of Braun coming out with Steiner-inspired gear this weekend? Can we get Scott's mesh headdress this weekend? That would be cool. I mean, his singlets are all very 90s Steiner Brothers.
It's like early Steiners, yeah. But are we going to see a big Papa Pump like his uncle version? Yeah.
Could be.
Or even the leather jacket with the big shoulder pads like his dad used to wear.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe his dad and his uncle will walk him to the ring. Yeah. They're going to be in town that weekend. for their Hall of Fame induction.
Soak and Roast says, should I watch NXT 2.0? I haven't watched this as the first episode and rather listen to your reviews. I mean, if that's your preference, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say just watch the main event for 2.0.
Watch
the main
Up.
event.
Just
Really
watch
good
Level
match.
Up.
Why? Because it's an hour?
It's an hour, and they probably do recaps.
Yeah, but the main event of 2.0 this week was really good, and it's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, they'll do like a recap of that. They'll give you all the great bits in like 4 minutes. Level Up, man.
You didn't even watch Level Up, so.
Because I watched 2.0. That's the whole point. Is if you don't want to watch 2.0, maybe Level Up gives you everything you need. Plus a couple of cool matches. It's like the Kushida show.
Yeah.
You a big fan of Kushida? Watch Level Up. Mayor Planet Houston says, WWE decides to hold a throwback Attitude Era Raw with returning wrestlers as guests. Every wrestler who doesn't have a theme from back then gets a new theme for the night that's a song from that time period. Good Lord. This is convoluted. He says, pick a theme for some of the wrestlers. Returning every wrestler who doesn't have a theme from back then?
They all had themes
They all had themes back then.
Yeah.
None of that. That doesn't make any sense, Mayor Planet Houston. Is Mayor Planet Houston here in the chat? What do you mean by this? I think he's here.
I think so.
What does this mean? Nikyle, rumor has it Friendo Club TV is going to get a Level Up review show.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that rumor.
So if you are
be on the
interested in
lookout.
Level Up, maybe.
Yep.
Nikyle says, do you still find the fake crowd on the LED boards behind the top row distracting? I never even noticed it. Somebody pointed out. I noticed it for a second. I went back to not noticing it.
It doesn't bother me so long as I'm not paying attention to it. When I see it, because as the show's gone on, the fake crowd has gotten larger.
Yeah, right.
It just seems unnecessary. It seems kind of unnecessary to me. I know it's a small place, not a lot of people there. I know the digital fans are digital fans.
To me, it's a fun little bit of business.
But I will say that bothers me less than the piped-in crowd noise.
I can't stand the piped-in crowd noise, but I kind of understand it. I don't know. Maybe like awkward silence. I was thinking about that during the Bianca Becky segment because I was like, man, this crowd looks like they're doing nothing. And it does actually make me kind of feel uncomfortable when there's awkward silence during a segment that should have heat. It should have a reaction. And so in that case, I'm like, to alleviate the stress I feel on behalf of the performers who are getting no reaction despite doing some cool stuff, I'm like, yeah, that makes me feel better.
If they're going to do that, they need to find a more organic way to do it. So it's not just silence.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like when it's John Cena 15 time.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get the wrong video game track.
Yep.
That's how I prefer it.
Dang MQ, which main roster superstar should appear in 2.0, thinking they just entered the Twilight Zone? If so, who else would play Rod Serling?
See, the thing that I like about it, I'm looking at it right now. I got this Von Wagner Bodie match on. I don't notice it as in like it's distracting me. And it is a good little bit of business that looks like there's more people there, but it's so like subtle and it's like a subconscious thing. I dig it. I like that. It's everything else I hate. All the Jackson Pollock colors I can't, or Basquiat, whoever you want to reference. All those colors I don't like. Just pick a color. Just stick with it. Volt.
At least, yeah. That's all Volt.
There's no Volt wrestling company, which is weird, right?
I know.
Does that give me an idea for whatever you're going to do with the Creator Wrestler stuff?
Trust me. I was already thinking Volt.
You got dibs on Volt.
Yeah.
Let's just lay the groundwork now. You got dibs on Volt.
Give me Volt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, was there another question?
Yeah, what was it? So which main roster superstar should appear in 2.0 thinking they just entered the Twilight Zone? If so, who plays Rod Serling? So I feel like it's got to be someone who was in NXT prior.
Yeah, okay.
Comes back. Oh, Sami Zayn.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Sami Zayn would be the returning.
And then Knoxville can be Rod. I think Knoxville could do a good Rod Serling.
Yeah, that'd be good. I
wonder if Killer Cross has a good Rod Serling in addition to his Jesse Ventura.
That was a really good Jesse Ventura.
It was like a shocking Jesse Ventura. God damn it, that was so good. When he referenced the Gulf of Tonkin.
Mayor Planet Houston says, I meant just give modern wrestlers new themes of late 90s songs. Oh,
Give
so
modern
wrestlers of today showing up on Throwback Attitude Era Raw with throwback songs from the 90s as their theme as opposed to their current themes.
This is literally just giving me a headache at this point. Okay. Kevin Owens gets
Puddle of Mud. Seth Rollins gets Break Shit by Limp Bizkit.
Okay. Hangman Page gets Closing Time from whatever that fucking band was called.
Okay.
Closing Time.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Who drinks beer? Does anybody else drink beer in WWE that isn't Stone Cold?
No, I don't think they're. Yeah, no one does.
Hangman is just the fucking beer guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll have to think about that more.
Okay. Let's see here. Cameron Bartolozzo, how many camera cuts in the first 2 minutes of the show is too much?
So there's 120
60?
seconds in 2 minutes.
One every 2 minutes.
I would actually
seconds?
say 30. Anything
30?
above 30 is verging on too much.
Good Lord, man. What is that?
Because that's 4 seconds.
Yeah. Got some mise en scène going there, dude.
Yeah.
Let's just go with a one shot. It's like some fucking
Exactly. Give me that. Give me the opening of Touch of Evil. Yeah. Totally.
The Goodfellas kitchen scene, yeah.
Cornbread Haas, is there anyone who could believably take the title off Mello at this point? That's why you have the ladder match, so he could lose the title, not need a pin, you know?
Yeah. The idea of Braun losing and Mello stepping up to take on Dolph Ziggler is intriguing to me because you've got obviously a guy that HBK loves in Mello. And then you've got the guy that everybody says sort of rips off HBK and Dolph Ziggler. That could be interesting.
Yep.
Let's see here. David says, considering that Dolph Ziggler got a video package that hyped him up as champion throughout his career, even though he's a mid-carder, who do you think WWE's post-production unit should do next to fabricate the fantasy? Oh, I don't know. I don't think that there's...
Dolph was a legit main eventer for a spell in his career.
Yeah, all those accolades. None of those accolades were fake.
Nope. They're, we're kind of far removed from arguably his peak, but it's not to say at 2011, 2012, 2013, he wasn't massively over because he was.
When you've had a career that has spanned as long as his, there's going to be so many ups and downs. So, yeah. Anyways, I guess you can kind of do the same thing with like Kevin Owens, who's won a lot of titles, but he's had a lot of ups and downs. So there's your answer, David.
Sure.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tonight after AEW Dynamite for our recap of that show. So join us then. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.